Hello, everybody. We are live and from the new office. Look at this. We got the little money tree in the back. We got the fancy mic all hooked up. So, funny enough, actually, I was like sitting here ready to go live, set a couple things up because now that we're here in the office, uh, there's a bunch of stuff to do, especially now with packages coming in constantly. There's actually a whole technology side of things that I have yet to figure out and get all hooked up. But funny enough, for out of the blue, the power just went out. So instead of doing this over Wi-Fi, we're just on a single camera today. And let me get all this blue light here off. Laura Bolt, oh my goodness, what is going on, Laura? Coming to you live from the Wellness Way Randolph. So we are in the office. Just built the desk here. It's a beautiful little desk. Got the money tree all set up. Sadly enough, actually, one of the branches on the money tree is not looking so happy. So I had to shave a little bit of it off. It's unfortunate, but we're keeping her alive. She's gonna do really well. The little money tree in the back, but we win some, we lose some. But yeah, we're just relaxing with the weekend off. Beautiful stuff. It's nice to see you, Laura. It's been a minute. My goodness. But we got, luckily, enough battery to cover the live because, like I said, the power went out. Like, all of a sudden, this is the first time that's happened. So, and I'm like looking around for a tree or some crazy thing that fell, but contacted the whoever manages the building. Let them know. You've been working? Well, that's good. Oh, Bill, I don't know why your comment's getting filtered, my man, but we're gonna allow it in. And Bill asks, "Good afternoon. Where did I go to Cairo school? I went to Logan University, so out there in Missouri, which was pretty cool. Missouri, pretty cool. Very flat, obviously, being the Midwest, but it was cool to see a whole different realm of stuff. And it was in Chesterfield, Missouri, so nice little town out there. It's definitely not like St. Louis, which is a little different in terms of town quality and stuff. Oh, you're doing some cleaning at the hospital, Laura. Good stuff. Well, hey, thanks for popping in, saying hello. We're going to tackle some health questions as they come in. Obviously, everything here is all holistic based, all natural health stuff. Bookie, what's poppin', Bookie? How we doing? Coming at you live from the Wellness Way Randolph. It is real. We are here in my little corner office. So, got the fancy mic all hooked up for your ears there. I hope it sounds beautiful. Let me know if there's any issues. I doubt there will be any, because this mic's actually, it was $100, but it's pretty dang nice, I will say myself. I actually, just reminded me, I need to get some Equip Foods coffee, because they got some third-party mold-tested stuff, and it's actually one of the cheaper brands out there. I'll actually put, this is the discount code. They're doing some Black Friday stuff, so I just have to remember to go on there and order some stuff, because I have forgotten. Let me log in here, and I see your guys' questions popping in there. We're going to tackle them. I just want to, what email did I use for this? Oh, yes, that's right. Okay. I almost said the code out loud because I'm like used to doing that when I'm trying to remember. All right. Order history, the protein, the coffee. So let's go back. Sorry, I'm like doing errands with you guys right now. But it is Black Friday, or Black Friday weekend, I guess. Okay. How do I just get to the shop dashboard? Products. Let's go. Coffee. There it is. Clean coffee, pack of 3. Add that there. Let's just do one-time purchase. I think it's so funny I'm ordering coffee with you guys right now. Not something I've done ever before, but all right. Let's put in the discount code. One-time pure. Look at that. Boom. Oh my goodness. What happened there? What happens if I remove that? Ooh, 30% off right now. 57 for 3 packs. It's a little over $10 off. Sorry, you guys are literally watching me order things, but too bad. Let's see if there's something we could do here. All right. Well, it looks like it's 30% off this weekend, so that's pretty cool. Should have enough protein right now. Let's see if there's any protein sales. Shop Black Friday. That's what I want. Yeah, so there's still some specials going on for, it's right here at the top. So Equip Foods, again, I'm just going to pin this in there. Dr. Antonio DC. And can I pin a comment in here? Oh, let's go like this. Sorry, folks. I am just looking to see if I could see my own. Okay, I can't. That's annoying. Why are my comments getting filtered? Can you guys see the discount code I put in here, or no? Let me know, because you guys are the only way I know, which I appreciate. Oh, we got some spine questions. You said you can see it, but I can't see it. What the frick? Jen, can you pin it to the... Yeah, Julie says no. Why can't I type in here? Okay. Oh, Jen, you are a moderator. Beautiful. Jennifer, thank you so much. I don't know if... Okay, there you go. Jen pinned it at the top because I'm a silly goose and I don't know how to do it. But Equip Foods, for the next 2 days and 19 hours, they're doing 30% off their stuff when you use that code popped in there at the top. So, pretty cool. They got grass-fed and finished, which is an important thing there because when you just get grass-fed stuff, it's grain-finished, which is super annoying. But I love their coffee in particular and their colostrum. The coffee's the best because it's the highest quality you can get for the lowest price out there on the market. So there you go. Okay, Julie. Now that we get that squared away, Miss Julie here. Oh my goodness, hold on. We got discounts on the coffee too here. And I'm going to go vanilla. Please select 2 items. Oh, okay. Let's do vanilla. I haven't done vanilla in a while. Yeah, 30% off this weekend. Oh my goodness. Let's do this. See what happens there. Oh. Okay. Let's make sure this is all good. And then we'll get started, I promise. All right, 2 proteins, 3 coffees. Here we go. Boom. And we're all set. We're all set. All right. Now to answer you fellas. Actually, let me just grab this. Hey, the power just came on. So I'm going to set up my... Oh, my goodness. We're going to go like this. And we're going to go like this. So now you guys can see me. Oh my goodness. Look how much better that is. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let the show begin. Julie is our first question. I don't even know if Julie's still in here. Julie, are you still here? Yes, you are. Okay, there you are. I have a deteriorating disc disease, constantly getting calcium and kidney stones. Is there any connection there? You can be... So there's a couple things that go on with any question in regards to health. You have mental stressors, you have chemical stressors, and you have physical stressors. So there can be some trauma-related things, which when I talk about trauma, this is in a physical sense. And you could certainly have trauma related to the area. Say you were a cheerleader, say you were a gymnastics person or a soccer player. You could have things off with the feet, things off with the knees, hips, all the way up to the spine, and that tracks its way all the way up. You will even have shoulder pain and neck pain and maybe even headaches from something that could go on posturally or from a physical standpoint. The calcium connection here can be from a lack of direction for that calcium to go or constant inflammatory signals that are creating that response to deposit calcium on different tissues. And, the kidneys themselves are trying to get rid of that. There can be things dietarily that you can start avoiding, even things like oxalate-rich foods. But Julie, if you send me a message on TikTok, that's the beautiful part about this. I could give you my email and then send you some handouts on foods to be avoiding right now. And then even doing something like K2 with your vitamin D. So obviously vitamin D3, K2. And then how we want to, because that's going to help direct calcium. Also potassium directs calcium too. People don't realize that sodium, potassium, calcium, all these minerals basically coordinate muscle firing and exchange with every single cell in our entire body, which will help you move calcium inside and outside the cell. So I usually see potassium extremely deficient and K2 extremely deficient. And there's some K2 rich foods we can have you lean towards, some oxalate rich foods that I want you to start avoiding. I could get you some handouts on some of those things too, but Albizia will help dilate those kidneys, help you filter more, even something like nettle leaf too. These just have to be in tincture form, so I want you getting them from us here at The Wellness Way. So that's just from a quality standpoint, and they are clinical grade things that I want you doing there. So, other things that can happen there. Sugars can play into this too, but finding the inflammatory triggers is going to be the biggest thing. And those 3 stressors I mentioned earlier, those are all inflammatory stressors. So I hope that helps. My back needs an adjustment from Laura. It's been hurting me. Heck yeah. Also, to tie into Laura's thing here with Julie, inversion tables, foam rollers, and self-massage machines. Those are great things. I use a self-massager probably 30 to 45 minutes a day when I'm editing videos for the next day. I have this AI software that does everything nicely for me, which is freaking beautiful, and I can schedule all my posts, and it's great. But it's a little plug-in thing. It's got like maybe a 6-foot wire, drapes over your shoulders, your elbows go through it. You could still be on your phone doing things. I don't recommend cooking while using this thing. But you could be on your computer, you could be watching TV, and it will also go over the low back too. So now you have a masseuse on command for your neck and your back at any time you want. It's like the best $100 you could ever spend because these are reusable tools. A rebounder also I value greatly because you're going to be moving lymphatics throughout the system. You're going to provide a distraction and compressive force, so imbibition for the spine, the heart, the lungs, and you're moving so much good lymphatic tissue out, which is how you detoxify things in the first place. So great things to be doing. Let me just connect back to the Wi-Fi on my computer because the Wi-Fi is back. So Now that the power's back, so we got inversion table, we got rebounder, we got foam rolling. Foam rolling, great thing to be doing too. Also, Dena rolls. Depending on if you've had x-rays done, you can actually start to correct these different patterns that occur from postural things over time and that trauma perspective that leads up. So, Julie, you got a bang for your buck in terms of asking that question. And Laura, you got tied into that too. Jen says good morning when I'm over here on the East Coast. So for Jen, she's on the West Coast. And it's still morning for her, but 1:30 here for me. And it feels like freaking 5 o'clock. So that's annoying. Is this for Quip Foods? Yes. Gator Pup is a DC as well as Billy, which was in here earlier. Or Bill. Sorry if I called you Billy. Do you go by Billy? Clayton Clapper. Do you have any experience with liver transplants? Woof. Tacrolimus effects. 3 months post here. I'm curious to know some history here. So if you want to kind of catch me up, we could even hop on a complimentary phone call and just discuss what has happened, what your story is, any previous labs that you've had before, so that we could start to figure out, well, why is this happening and how do we rebuild the house? Because I'm more of a carpenter or a handyman that I want to rebuild the home. Medicine does a beautiful job at being the fire department, spraying the house down and using medications or surgery to get you back to baseline to some degree and buy you time there, which is fantastic. That is absolutely needed. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with that. If I have a tooth infection, numb me the hell up. Put lidocaine in there or whatever you guys use. Do your job to get the tooth out, get the infection out, because that could really harm my health. That infection can move to my heart, throughout the whole body. Everything's connected there. So my focus is more rebuilding things, getting nutrients into the body, covering deficiencies, covering toxicity, which are going to be the two outcomes that come from inflammatory responses, which are those mental, chemical, and physical stressors that occur. So, fantabulous. Abriella's exclusive mentions acid reflux and stomach ulcers, so we want to figure out the inflammatory triggers here. How you start to calm that reflex down is by not introducing acid-promoting things just yet, because that ulceration's there, and it's probably going to be, very irritated. So you want to get the inflammation down at first in that specific area. So aloe vera juice from Lily of the Desert, or if you have an aloe plant, you can make your own aloe vera juice, which I've been doing at home for months now. Fantastic thing that you could do and make for pennies on the dollar. All you need is the aloe leaf. You want to drain out the toxins that protect the plant, the leaf of the plant there. But you could look up from a simple YouTube video on how to scoop out, the gel that's in there and blend it up, mix it with water, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of honey for some antimicrobial scents there, so you could store it a little bit longer and it doesn't taste terrible. And that will do a great job of lubricating the throat, the mucosa within the esophagus, the upper GI, the sphincter that regulates that acid from coming out of the stomach in the first place. And now it's going to help calm down the smooth muscle that's responding like crazy from the acid reflux. Now, we have to figure out the inflammatory things. So wheat, honestly, dairy, soy, seed oils, grains, get those out of your life, because they're going to constantly lead to that inflammatory response. And slippery elm, chamomile, which you're probably going to want to mix with that aloe vera juice, because it's going to be very strong when you take those tinctures. You don't want to get powder forms of these. Send me a message. I'll create a whole supplement schedule for you guys there. Get you a plan to get back to normal. And then other things for acid reflux too, and with the ulceration there. Obviously, the slippery elm, aloe vera juice, chamomile, helping mucosal things calm down, helping build good barriers throughout the upper GI there. But food allergy testing and Genova testing, huge, 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 because now you need to rebuild those things and figure out where function was lost. And that function is lost from inflammatory stressors. What are those inflammatory stressors? Mental, chemical, physical stress. Just mental stress alone will suppress stomach acid, will prevent the GI from having high enough acid within there, which is what prevents the ulceration in the first place, which is what's supposed to fry up all the food that goes in there and kill off any microbials and things that tag along for the ride. But that's a great starting point. Honestly, without the testing, you're not going to be able to rebuild this. You're going to be trying to rely on supplements as if these are medications, and they are not medications. They do not manipulate the body to do certain things and turn it off. You could certainly buy time. You can certainly rebuild, but it's finding out why it's happening in the first place. So, and bone broth protein as a final piece here, because you're probably going to want to do some fasting in there, and I want to direct how that's going, but we'll get to that. Send me a message though for Abriella, and we will cover that in depth. Hop on the phone and figure things out. Purse lady, what can I do for kidney stone pain? Okay, shockwave therapy. Great thing that you could be doing. Vibration plates, great thing that you could be doing. And these things are just getting more and more affordable now because technology is taking off like crazy. So that is going to help you guys out a ton. Albizia, nettle leaf, avoiding oxalate-rich foods. Making sure that you are preparing certain veggies, certain nuts and seeds, too, when you're consuming those things. Avoiding sugar probably for 2 weeks here. And again, directing that calcium. So potassium, K2, a lot of your... I would just start there. I would love to see everybody increase fiber too, for crying out loud. That's always a good thing to be doing. But yes, freaking thing scrolled me down. Laura Bolt, what is reflux? Acid reflux. I have it with a small hiatal hernia. So common stress response that can occur. Mental stress, huge piece of this, along with chemical stressors that affect the GI, and mental health affects the GI there too. So getting mental stress down is huge. This is where I'm a huge proponent of doing things like California poppy, ashwagandha, kava, great herbs that will save your life, literally change your life. I'm just going to catch that up. So, what is it? It's basically suppression of stomach acid that leads toward inhibition of your ability to break down foods and get rid of excess microbials that tag along with those foods. It's also from the chemical stressors from getting sassy, getting naughty with the foods, like our sugars, like our grains, like all these things, heavy starches. Again, we just had Thanksgiving, right? Not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, but still a huge piece of what can go wrong here and how we can practice some sassy things. But yes. And then Lexi Lou, what do I have? Ooh, bleh in my ears as of last night. It's been sore. This is more of a medical moment that I would want you to get checked out. I mean, in general, like, can humidity play into this? Can the dryness play into this? If you're taking 2-3 showers a day, like, from my kind of holistic, approach here, can that happen? But I would want you to go and seek a medical provider out here just because they're going to know more about the acute scenarios that could play out and if there's something going on there that needs to be checked out medically. So that's what I would do if you were a loved one of mine. Buki, my dog sneezed in my eye. Can I get an infection or am I good? I don't know, to be honest with you. You have good, mucosal, excuse me. It's kind of gross burping for you guys here. You have, mucosal membranes throughout the whole body that are there to protect you from antigens that enter the barriers, like your nose, like your eyes, like your mouth, any opening, right? Any opening, there's going to be certain acidity that you want there and pH that's going to help a bunch with just making sure we can fend off those antigens that come into contact there. So I don't know, to be honest, maybe. I agree with you. Numb the teeth, certainly. Gabriella, how to make your own. Live in the Caribbean. So You'd want to get an aloe plant and take off the leaf. Then you want to put the leaf in a cup for a while, let the yellow drain out, and then eventually you're going to kind of fillet it or skin the aloe leaf, just making sure that it can, expose the gel part without shaving too much off there when you kind of fillet it. And then you want to scoop out the internal and mix that with like 5 cups of water per leaf, I think, depending on how many cups of the gel you get, which will depend on how big the plant is. And then you blend that up with some lemon juice and honey, and there you go. But you can only refrigerate it for like 3 days when you're making it your own. Is pancreas cancer rare? It's certainly more and more common as time goes on. I want it to be rare, but it's becoming less and less rare. I live in the Caribbean. What can do for numb foot? I'm a diabetic. So this, I would want to obviously be managing things a little bit better. So send me a message on here, but simple things you could do is getting blood sugar to regulate, right? Doing some B vitamins there. I would want you doing Gymnema. I would want you doing Oregon grape, and I would want to see some labs on you to get inflammation down and start repairing the body from the inside out. But yeah, definitely B vitamins. Ours is Wellness B Complex. I would want you taking that like crazy, and then working on, getting the neurological system to calm down with the immune system, getting sugars handled, and getting that body back to normal, because you can. You really can. MH offered, I often get low blood sugar, so I need to eat often. What causes this? I'm gaining too much weight, so insulin is becoming dysregulated here, and you're getting hungry more and more often, and when you don't eat, you're going to be dizzy like crazy. So electrolytes are going to be a huge piece of this. Getting mental stress down, another big piece of this. So I would do something like an Ultima electrolyte powder, or Celtic sea salt, or LMNT powders. They could just get, easy sourced, and you don't have to measure everything out on your own, because that's going to be, a big piece of regulating blood pressure and cellular exchange of different things. Plus, getting fiber up, getting proteins up, getting mental stress down. So something like California poppy, beautiful stuff. And the fiber piece of that too, maybe some chicory root in there, and then probably some Gymnema so that we can regulate our insulin right, and we'll go from there. But send me a message there. All right, we did a little rapid fire. We caught up with the comments here, which it's nice. A little break for me, right? Get to sip on some water. But shoot, I didn't set a timer for how long we were going here, but we'll just keep rocking, hey? We'll just keep rocking. Bum, bum, bum. But yes, we got the Black Friday. Hoping some stuff pops off on Cyber Monday, too. Got to get some furniture here for the office, which will be nice. But yes, Heart's Closet Import. Hello, hello. I actually need to pee, so I'm going to pee and then be right back. If you guys want to hang out, that's cool. If you don't, we'll see you tomorrow. But I'm just going to run out, and then I'll be right back. All right. We're back. Look at you guys. Half of you guys stayed. Love it. I'm actually going to throw on a little hoodie here. Because it's kind of cold. Little hoodie. From Trinidad. Hello, hello. All the way from Trinidad. Oh, okie doke. There we go. Got a fuzzy little coat here. Usually it's hot in this room, but not today, hey? Not today. All right. I got a bit of a mullet in the back that we got to get cut, so that's fun news for you guys. Got a little mullet going on. I love it. So, actually going to take some kava here as we wait for some more questions. Thank you, Heart's Closet, for liking it up. Pretty crazy, I tell you. Miriam, ask away. Ask your questions away. In the meantime, I'll kind of cover with some story time. We got a bunch of stories now because I got packages showing up. I got all this stuff getting ready to go as we get this office open. But all the remote stuff is open, so we can do appointments and things as I'm waiting. But obviously for the people in Randolph, New Jersey, we're going to be probably 2 months out before we're rocking and rolling here. Mariam, it's about hypertension. I've been hospitalized for 3 weeks now because my blood pressure is stupidly high and I'm 20. And they can't seem to find anything apart from having sinus tachycardia. So do we know, did anybody help you figure out why the heart rate is responding that way? Because there are two primary systems of the body, nervous system and immune. So if those two systems are constantly responding to something, I've seen that with people post-vaccination with COVID. I've seen that with no vaccination to COVID and just interacting with that antigen itself. There are definite ways to help, prevent translation of that virus and helping your innate immune responses get back to normal. Yeah, they think you have POTS. So that's a huge connection there. That's where I was going with this, which is really an autoimmune type of reaction. And I'm glad that you've seen people medically because they will do all of the necessary diagnostics needed to make sure that there isn't huge pathology here and that your life's, not in immediate danger, which is great. You're going to see a bunch of specialists, and the answers part to how we get back to normal is now we have to find the immune triggers, we have to keep stress down, and you have to be doing plenty and plenty of electrolytes. So might need to fly out to the U.S. and see specialists out there. I'd be willing to work with you and figure some things out remotely, but I just have to figure out, we could probably do some Microsoft Team meetings or Zoom meetings just so that we don't get big phone bills. Supplementation-wise, it's going to be a little tricky. We're going to have to work as a team to help figure out, how we can get good quality supplementation, because the Wellness Way is the company that I'm with, opening an office with here. And we obviously want to tightly regulate the supplementation seam and have all clinical grade things. But outside the U.S., unfortunately, I can't ship there. So that's the only tricky part. But we could figure something out. We'll figure something out here, But hey, good stuff. Great questions, honestly. Great little first office round of questions here. Live from the office for the first time. Feels good, folks. I will tell you that much. Sorry for calling you folks, but it does feel good. We got the money tree going. Like I was saying in the beginning, though, it's kind of sad with the money tree because I had to cut off a little branch of it today. So that's sad. We got a question about gut health. Fire away. Fire away. I'm just filling the space in with some stories as we're waiting for things. Doc, MCAT tips, please. I didn't take the MCAT, actually. I'm not an MD. I'm a DC. It's a doctor of chiropractic, so everything here is holistic health. I still run labs on people, whether that's blood work, stool, saliva, urine testing, because different routes of testing is key to figure out why somebody's dealing with the things that they're dealing with and how to rebuild everything. But, you know, with any type of question or preparing for some standard exams and things like that, you want to figure out what type of learner you are. I'm an auditory learner, love learning through listening to things, so figure out which type of learner you are. That is the key, for sure. You're very welcome, Oppenheimer. But where did I put my... I had a little chapstick disc somewhere. It's probably up at the reception area. Either way, did we get our gut question in here? Somebody said, I have a gut health question. Doesn't look like we got to him just yet. But who else is in here? How do I drop this down? Does it only show the top view? Either way, we'll go for another 10 minutes or so. Keep rocking things through. Do. Well, good stuff. Got kind of quiet. You guys were rolling, and then I had to go pee, and half the chat left, which is funny. But let me see if I could turn these lights on here. All right, there we go. It's a little better. It's going to be funny watching the replay for all this because I'm going to be wearing like 3 different outfits and there's going to be like 10 different lighting settings, but all right. Well, hey, what other stories do I got for you guys as we're waiting? Actually, a couple of huge... what did I get on the MCAT? Didn't take the MCAT. Not an MD. I'm a DC, so everything here is holistic health. If you got medication questions, I'm not your guy. If you got surgery questions, I'm not your guy. I'm here to rebuild the body from the inside out, figure out why people are having different stressors in their life. If they need to have labs run, we figure out what to do there, how to support nutritionally, supplementation-wise, and helping people get their body back to normal, the way it was designed to. You're not programmed for disease. You are programmed for health. That is the way your body's programmed to do. And it does that through multiple different systems that are constantly working like crazy. So, but I have to figure out, I guess, 2 major things. One of them being basically all this technology that I got to figure out and hook up within the utility closet there, because I got to unhook like previous internet from the previous tenant that was here, and then rehook up all this freaking technology stuff, which is kind of overwhelming to say the least, I guess, because there's so much. There's so much in terms of what has to get mounted and hooked up. The other major problem is right now trying to figure out with the chiropractic board here in New Jersey and even some of the town regulations, because I'm going to have an exam table within this room here and a chiropractic table in the x-ray room, which is going to be pretty cool because I'm going to have all the x-rays available to look at in that room and adjust and everything. but I have to put a sink in the room specifically. I mean, I have a sink in here in the reception area, so I can wash my hands and do all those things. It's just they want a specific sink for the specific room, so that's like another probably, I don't know, $3,000 that we need to spend, which is fun. But thanks for listening to my business owner challenges, but it is cool. It is cool building this out. Painting is pretty much all done. I have a few spots that I have left to do. Oh my goodness, username. This is the mom here. I remember us from, maybe it was the previous live or the one before that, but we are live from the Wellness Way Randolph, so pretty cool. But I sent you my daughter's Genova test to see if you could go over it, but it won't send here on TikTok. So I'm just going to give you my email on here. This is my email. Randolph at thewellnessway.com. Just send it right there. And like we were saying, yeah, the Klebsiella, the Citrobacter, which are opportunistic infections that take place, and they're certainly not fun, especially with her, being young and everything. So, Winter, I love that. I love the name. Very clever. Thoughts on NAC supplement for mold toxicity? Number one is always getting out of the environment that has the mold in there. So that is huge, because if you don't do that, you're going to be taking supplements forever, right? We don't want to do that. The goal here of Wellness Way Care, the care that I give here, is to get you out of the office, to get you out of care, to get you off of supplements, because that's not the point here. The point is not a scam. The point is not TikTok shop. The point is not to run your tabs up on, can't see the email. Do I have any moderators in the chats? I think because I sent it through my computer, that's probably why. Let me see. Okay. I'm just going to, I have my computer open right here. I'm just going to message you. Send me a message on here, and I'll immediately give you my email. It's probably good, because then I get a bunch of trolls emailing me. So I got my TikTok DMs open right here. Send in your message there. And I know you said that the test wouldn't send. Don't worry about that. We'll do that through email. But send me just a regular message, and it'll pop in. Sometimes if you're not following, that's why too. Okay. So we got some haters in here. Welcome, welcome. Everybody's welcome. You can have a different opinion. I have to put .com and it'll show up? Let me see. Let's see. Let's see if Miss Lane is right. I don't think you are, Lane. I don't think you are. Wellnessway.com. Oh, wait. Lane, are you a moderator? Because then you could just pin it for me. I'm going to make you a moderator. I just sent it. So let's see. Let's make a bet. The bet is 1 bottle of ashwagandha. I don't see it popping up in the chats, Ms. Lane. But if you could pin it for me, that would be awesome. Give it to me. I'll type it out. Randolph at thewellnessway.com. That is literally the email, but Randolph is with a PH for the F sound, not an F. And I'm going to have to get used to saying that for helping all the new patients here. So, but pretty exciting. What do we got? 2 p.m. here, Eastern Time on November 29th. So beautiful stuff. Doing the first live from the office, and Lane just put in the office email here. So if you have to send labs or you have questions or concerns that maybe you don't want to share on here, or if you have an actual lab that you can send, that is beautiful, because then I can go over all that. And obviously, when I do the first call, it's always complimentary for the first call. After that, I'm doing discounted new patient appointments because of the grand opening coming up. So it'll just be $99 after that initial call, and we'll create a plan and make it as cost effective as possible. So, but I have all the handouts and things, financials, all that stuff. You'll see mine worked. I know yours worked, which is weird because I have you guys pulled up. Let me show you. Got you guys pulled up right here. So it's easier to manage. It's easier to manage the chats that way, you know. Let's get us all situated again. But it's pretty exciting. Phone's gonna die soon, so we'll go until she starts running out of juice here. I'm gonna see if maybe I could go home and do a lot of what I've been doing, which is more outdoor workouts, which feels fantastic. Honestly, getting outside, getting the phone away from you, even if it's cold, go outside, go for a walk, get your eyes in the sun, maybe even go for a nice drive, get some fresh air, because a lot of people with air quality, indoor air quality issues, that starts to stem up a ton when it gets cold like this. And if you're in Arizona, like Lane, like Jen on here, then you don't have to worry. Sorry for putting you on blast there. What else can I do besides apple cider vinegar? There's a couple different things. It really depends on where we're starting, because that may be too soon. Or no, I think you said that you were doing some ACV with her already, so you can do apple cider vinegar. Just go heavier on the dosing there. So you're starting to work up to 2 tablespoons, maybe even 3 tablespoons, and mixing that with aloe vera juice. Now we can get effects on the mucosal membranes and not have it taste as bad or be as vinegary and astringent. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you get what I'm talking about. Because those are something that nutritionally should be a part of everybody, or close to everybody's daily routines, is aloe vera and apple cider vinegar. Whether you use the aloe vera for more of a skin thing, or you're using it for more of, to calm things down, more of a lubricative and mucosal rebuilding aspect. There is that. But, aside from that, eventually some betaine HCl will be really good, because you can work a little bit more aggressively on the acidity within the stomach, and maybe even you get more of an encapsulated form of the apple cider vinegar, but it depends on the patient. Obviously, looking for food allergies is going to be a huge, huge reason why that stomach acid is low in the first place. Just common dietary things. When people are doing too much grains, too much wheat, too much soy, too much seed oils, stressing out mentally. I know it's a teenager, so we don't really have to worry too much about that. But aside from that, betaine HCl is your number one, draft pick in terms of strength and getting the stomach to be nice and acidic again. So you could sterilize things and break proteins down and start that process. Regulate sugars and do things that way really well. Also looking at fiber, fermentable foods, fantastic. But now it's, okay, maybe we could start doing, things a little bit more fancy. Start going to tinctures, to glandulars even. Something like digestive glandular that you'll have, got it right here. I actually didn't take mine before the live. I usually do them after the lives, because then I'm burping for you guys. So I'm being considerate. But yes. Oh, let me get this. But yeah. Great questions. You guys are freaking kicking butt today with the questions. But She likes the aloe vera. I just cut out pieces. You want to make sure it's aloe vera juice from Lily of the Desert, because you don't want you don't want anything green in that aloe vera juice. You want the gel, water, some lemon, some honey. That should be the only things in there. You do not want the chunks or green chunks in there. That's going to irritate her a bunch. You got to remember, plants are protective, and if we don't remove the protective layers from nuts and seeds and veggies and herbs that we use, they can be irritative. Okay. Home remedies for foot. What? Paula, what are you saying there? Just rephrase that for me, Paula. I don't mind taking apple cider vinegar, but aloe vera juice has a bite. What do you mean? It kind of tastes like pool water to me. I got slippery elm today. Nice. How many times do you think is good a day? It depends on what's going on with the patient. Are we doing this more for a protective mucosal membrane that needs to get built up again? It depends on the use case for it, because there's 20 to 30 different functions for each herb that's being utilized. So it does depend. And slippery elm is a good one, though, to do in the beginning, especially when things are still flared up, still very irritated. That's still good practice to be doing. I would just wonder if it's a capsule, because if it's a capsule, now we're not going to be getting the full blast and benefit from a capsule than you would with a tincture form of that. So key to be doing there. Mariella, what is my specialty? Not medical, though. All natural health here. All holistic focused. I'm a chiropractor. I'm a practitioner for the Wellness Way, helping you restore your health from the inside out, identifying the stressors that create inflammatory responses, because the immune system is the primary system in the body, so it changes all the others. People don't realize that the nervous system and the immune system change the other systems, and they're the only two other systems that can do that as they're responding to mental, chemical, and physical stress. So, yes, we have to figure out where those things are coming from. For my daughter, nice. Emma, I think I've seen you on here before, Emma, with the food sensitivity test. It's a food allergy test, just to be clear there. It is a delayed type 2 hypersensitive allergic reaction. You can look in any immunology textbook. It'll show you that. But it's just all 4 subclasses of the IgG antibody there. So can I have the food sensitive to on Christmas? Oh, you're trying to get sassy, Emma. I don't know how long to avoid. Usually it's like 10 months to a year, because that's going to change over time, especially as you're doing the rebuilding work from that Genova test that you've already gotten. And you're starting to work on things with food changing, supplementation-wise, getting your stressors down. So how long to avoid? It's going to be until you get a new food test. If you do get sassy with your foods, this is where albizia, chamomile, things like that come in, because everybody gets sassy. In the past 2 weeks, every single one of you guys has stayed up too late, has stressed out too much, has eaten something you shouldn't have, and that really just puts a nail in the form of care that we're doing here, because every single one of you guys have interacted with stressors in the past 2 weeks. So now it's, okay, what were those stressors, and how do we support your body? And obviously having labs to go with that will guide us on, the whole situation and long-term, how to get things back to normal. Because like I said in the beginning, the whole form of this care is to get you out of this care. It is not to be doing this for the rest of your life. You will encounter stressors for the rest of your life, though, and that's, once we rebuild enough, now your body's resilient, it has vitality, you can overcome a lot of things. But Nami, I don't think I've seen you in here before, but hello. How we doing? Shirley, I say I am diabetic and vegetarian. Is that what that meant? Just clarify that for me. Doctor, may I ask, I I'm a CKD 3A patient. My doctor's off. Okay, this is more of a medical question there. I'm not too sure. There. Emma, can you explain the antibodies? I have 3 foods that are +3. Yeah, so it's graded 1 through 4, and the number +3, +1, +4, +2, that is the speed of the reaction of that allergic response. So it is not the severity of the allergic response. So if you have eggs at a +3, which is really common, chicken eggs, they're being formulated and created worse and worse, lower and lower quality. Obviously, pasture raised and all this stuff is good to do, but if you're eating organic eggs that you're allergic to, you're still going to have an allergic response. Yeah, I know that sucks to hear, but you got to switch to something like duck eggs. Fantastic alternative. And they're bigger, and they have more protein and more everything. So, but what that means is that at a +3, yeah, you're reacting pretty quick. Maybe that's a couple hours to respond. Maybe that's a couple days. But, a +1 would be somewhere between 2 weeks and 30 days that you could respond to that food, which is pretty crazy. So, but if you ask the experts, then it doesn't matter. So it depends on who you ask. Hi, Doc. What's your specialty? I'm a chiropractor and a health restoration doc for the Wellness Way. Opening my own practice here inside of the Wellness Way Randolph right now. This is actually our first live here from the office. Obviously, if you're in New Jersey and you want to come in person, you'll have to wait 1 or 2 months until the place is completely done. If you are remote, we can start things right now. So pretty cool. Emma, how do you avoid black pepper for a year? It's on everything. So, what's it called? There's a certain company that they have black pepper alternatives. So just look up black pepper alternatives and then search through there, and you should be able to find something pretty well in terms of something you could switch to and not, have this burden for the next year. So, but good question, though. Totally. Hey, Doc. Hello. All right, folks. That was good. I went a little bit longer than we were gonna, but for the people looking to create appointments and doing all those things, or send me labs, send me additional questions, send me a message on here. I'll give you my email. I think Lane pinned the office email to you guys there already, but I got to do a whole bunch of back-end things here in the office. So send in your messages. We'll get you guys some complimentary calls and then work things up as needed to get you guys back to normal, the way that your body's designed to be. So stay healthy, stay free. Obviously, if you guys are remote, you can send me messages on here. We can do everything already, but I need some water because my voice is starting to go. But thanks for joining me on the first live here in the office. That was pretty fun, and we'll get to it. So, but for the remainder of the questions, send me messages,